All right, what's up, everybody? It's Ethan here, and I think you can all guess where I am right now. The south rim of the Grand Canyon on a beautiful Sunday morning. Very cold, but beautiful Sunday morning on January 3rd, 2021. And if you're watching this video, that means you made it through 2020, so congratulations to you for that. That in and of itself is an accomplishment, but I'm going to be going for a little bit more than that today to celebrate the new year. I am going to be attempting what will most likely be the most difficult hike I have ever done in my life, and something that I have always wanted to do, and that will be to start here at the South Kaibab Trailhead, hike down the South Kaibab Trail all the way down past Point, Cedar Ridge, Skeleton Point, the tip-off, down to the Colorado River, over to Phantom Ranch, and then back up the Bright Angel Trail to the Bright Angel Trailhead, which is near where my car is parked. It is going to be an 18-mile total hike with about 5,000 feet of elevation difference. It is certainly not going to be easy, but I've been looking forward to this for so long. Like I said, I have always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to do the rim to river Grand Canyon hike, and I've always had a goal of doing it in one day, as a day hike, not as a backpacking trip. So I am hoping this goes well. I have prepared as much as I possibly can for this, but at a certain point, sometimes you just gotta take a little bit of a risk. But I am as prepared as I possibly can be. I'm not, just going down there totally unprepared. But anyway, this should be amazing. I can't wait to share this with you guys, and I can't wait to just have an amazing day here at the Grand Canyon today. So I'm going to start hiking on the trail, and I'll get back to you guys a little further down. Lots of people at Point this morning. I'm assuming they just hiked down there to watch the sunrise, and then most of them are probably going to hike back up. Already warming up quite a bit. Just getting moving really warmed me up a lot. But the next stop is going to be, next place of interest is going to be Cedar Ridge, which I believe is either 1.5 or 2 miles from the trailhead, from the rim. Can't remember exactly though. But man, I'll tell you, one thing about hiking the Grand Canyon is you just get absolutely non-stop gorgeous views the entire time. Like literally start to finish, nothing but gorgeous views. There's never a boring part of these trails. Man, this place is just incredible. So Cedar Ridge is somewhere over there. I think it's down there maybe. And I would like to point out that I actually didn't need microspikes for the first, I'm down a little over a mile, I think, down the South Kaibab Trail. And that first mile especially is usually, like the stretch between the rim and Point is usually where you're going to need spikes in the wintertime. Because after all, it is January, and it does get cold at the South Rim. It was 17 degrees when I woke up this morning. It feels like it's warmed up to a little over 20 at this point, but still very cold. Now, down at Phantom Ranch, it's going to be about 60 today. If I get there at around the time I think I'll get there, it'll probably be in the high 40s, low 50s by the time I'm at Phantom Ranch. But yeah, it does get very cold. It does snow. As you can see, there is some snow and ice. So definitely dress warm, wear layers, because the further you hike down, the warmer it's gonna get. And bring those micro spikes. Most people don't think of the Grand Canyon as being a place that gets snow and ice and stuff like that, but let me tell you, it definitely does. All right, made it to Cedar Ridge, and there are bathrooms here for your convenience if you need them, which at the moment I do not. And it is still just a beautiful morning. It's definitely noticeably warmer already than it was at the rim, but I am very much enjoying this hike, and I still definitely wouldn't call it warm. It's still cold, and you can see that sunrise starting. It is just so beautiful out here. There is a solid chance, with how short the days are in the winter, that I will get to see both the sunrise and sunset during this hike. I do hope that I make it up a little before the sunset, but we'll see. Either way, this is pretty epic, and you can see the trail winding its way down there past, I believe that right there is called O'Neill Butte. I think that's O'Neill Butte. About to hike by O'Neill Butte. Just had to admire this view. My goodness. I swear, it is just absolutely impossible to like capture this place on film and portray it properly, of like just how massive and spectacular this place actually is. I know that's like a commonly said thing about the Grand Canyon, but I mean, it is so true. This place is just unlike any other place you will ever go. And let me tell you, despite the cold weather, it is crowded here this weekend. It is New Year's weekend, so a lot of people are traveling and trying to do something fun this weekend. And of course, the Grand Canyon, I believe, is the second most visited national park in the country. Gets over 6 million visitors a year. So even though this is technically the off season, the Grand Canyon doesn't really have an off season. It's pretty crowded all year round. But as you can see, I'm just a couple miles down into the canyon and there is nobody down here, or at least very few people. I haven't seen anyone in pretty much since before Cedar Ridge. And that just goes to show you that the vast majority of people who visit here do not ever hike down into the canyon, or if they do, they go down to like, you know, Ooh-Ah Point, or maybe like a mile or two down the Bright Angel Trail and then just turn around there. But if you really want to see how spectacular this place truly is, you have to hike down. Not necessarily all the way to the bottom, but, you know, at least do a good little day hike a little ways down into the canyon and just get to experience all of this. It is incredible out here. All right, well, I'm at a bit of a flatter part of the trail now, and you can see it's a little cloudy this morning, but I know it is supposed to be mostly sunny today, so I think the sun is eventually going to burn those clouds off. Feels like it's warmed up to above freezing now, so that didn't take long. And I'm at a flatter part, which is nice. Won't last long, but it's nice while it lasts. And man, I know this isn't gonna last very long, but for the last, like pretty much from Ooh Point to here, I've really felt like I've had this trail all to myself. And that is quite an awesome feeling when you're hiking down the South Kaibab Trail from the south rim of the Grand Canyon during any time of year. All right, guys, I made it down to Skeleton Point. This is about 3.5 miles down into the Grand Canyon. And this is a notable place for a couple of reasons. Number one, I will show you in just a second here. If I can find the place to show you. Well, I'll tell you about the other one first. So the first reason is because this is the place where the National Park Service highly recommends that anyone doing a day hike turn around. And that's definitely true if you're just kind of like an average hiker, you know, aren't really used to doing really long and difficult hikes. You will find just the hike down and back up to Skeleton Point very difficult. But the other reason is this one right here. The Skeleton Point Overlook is the first place on the South Kaibab Trail where you really get a good look at the Colorado River. And you can see it's a beautiful turquoise color today. This is absolutely incredible. It is 8:30 in the morning, so it took me about 45 minutes to get down here. So I'm making great time so far. And in just a little bit, I'll be hiking down the steepest section of the South Kaibab Trail. This spot right here all the way down to there. That's called the Red and White Switchbacks. And that section is actually the furthest down the Grand Canyon I've been. I turned around about halfway down these switchbacks here. All right, starting on the Red and White Switchbacks. You can see why they call them that. They're red and then they're white. And you can see how quickly you lose elevation on these switchbacks. This is, like I said, without a doubt the steepest part of the South Kaibab Trail. And a couple of trail runners down there just passed me. And those are the first people I've seen since Ooh Point. But it is the Grand Canyon. I don't think the Grand Canyon is the greatest idea for a hike if total solitude is what you're looking for. And I did obviously understand that going into it. I have been to the Grand Canyon before. I know it's crowded. But some things are worth crowds. All right, well, this is a momentous occasion for me personally, because this is officially the furthest down into the Grand Canyon I've ever been. The first time I came out here, when I saw that sign and saw that I still had 3.8 miles to Phantom Ranch, I was like, I think it's time to turn around. But let me tell you, I am feeling about 1,000,000 times better at this point in the hike today than I did at this point in the hike the first time I came out here. And this beautiful overlook right here is where I stopped and took about a 30-minute break before I started hiking back up, which of course means that everything from here down is all going to be new territory for me. And I can't wait to see it. Look at that, there's like a little arch up there. I wonder if that's like a named arch or if it's just kind of there. Either way, it's cool. And Right now I am approaching the tip off. I've got a little bit of what I like to call the downhill legs. You know, you just have little aches and pains just from going consistently downhill, especially on a trail like this. But other than that, I'm feeling good and definitely still making good time. Coming up on the tip off right now is definitely, this is actually a little bit ahead of schedule of where I wanted to be. So I'm happy about that because I know for a fact that the uphill is going to take quite a bit longer than the downhill. So I am, you know, just mentally prepared for that. But man, what an absolutely beautiful place. The Grand Canyon is just so incredible. And as I said earlier, this is the furthest down into the canyon I have ever been. And that is a really good feeling. All right, made it down to the tip off. And you can see here, this is Tonto West. The Tonto Trail intersection is here at the tip off. So you can go Tonto East or Tonto West. And if you go to the west, that takes you over to the Bright Angel Trail and beyond. The views are absolutely amazing here at the tip off. And yeah, if you're actually looking for still a very tough hike, but a shorter loop than the, you know, going all the way down to the river, this trail will connect you to the Bright Angel, and I think it's about a 13.5-mile total hike if you take the Tonto Trail from here and go up the Bright Angel. Damn. How is that for a view? My goodness. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, if you want to see the Grand Canyon in its full splendor, you really do have to hike down. Like I said, I'm not recommending that anybody attempt to hike all the way down to the river and back as a day hike if they don't think they can handle it. But I mean, standing on the rim of the Grand Canyon is certainly an unbelievable experience that I think everybody should have. But man, being down here, getting close to the bottom of the canyon, this is just an unreal experience. It really is. And I'll tell you, it's unfortunate that, you know, for most day hikers, Skeleton Point, you know, has to be the turnaround point, which is totally understandable. But it's unfortunate because it's after, like, really after the tip off where things just go from incredible to really incredible. I mean, the whole thing's incredible, but down here, this is really just something else. All right, well, look at that. So that is the Bright Angel Trail. That's the trail I'll be coming back on. I believe that down there is the Bright Angel Campground, and that's Phantom Ranch up there. And you can see the Kaibab suspension bridge. So that is where I will be crossing the Colorado River in the not too distant future. And my goodness, look at these views. This is so cool. This is absolutely insane. And there are just so few people down here right now. I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure as the day goes on, I'm going to see a lot more people. But for now, it's about 9:20, 9:25 in the morning. So it took me about an hour and a half, a little over an hour and a half to get here. And man, this is just incredible. This is so, so cool. Wow. There's the Colorado. I am so close right now. You can see the Kaibab suspension bridge right down there. And so basically, I just have to go down this last set of switchbacks and through that tunnel down there. It's right there and across the bridge. And once I reach that bridge, I will officially be at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, which, let me tell you, is not a bad feeling. This is so amazing. All right, guys, welcome to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. Wow. Man, I swear, after hiking this for the first time, hiking down to a little past Skeleton Point and back up about 3 years ago, if you would have told me that I was going to be down here doing this as a day hike 3 years later, I would have said you were crazy, because that hike killed me. But man, this is incredible. It is so good to be here. The Colorado is looking absolutely magnificent right now. Wow. And there's the South Rim all the way up there. It's a long way up from here. All right, well, as I'm heading the last little bit of trail over to Phantom Ranch, where I will be taking a nice long break before starting the long journey up the Bright Angel Trail, I just want to point out I had originally planned on, well, the goal was to be down here at the river in 3 hours. I told myself if I can get down to the river in 3 hours, that is a good time. Well, it took me 2 hours and 15 minutes to get down to the river. So, let me tell you, it does not take long to hike down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. But I am fully planning on this taking at least 5 and probably more like 6 hours to get back up to the top from here. I am not fooling myself at all. I know this is going to be a very long and tough hike back up, but I am glad that at least for now I'm making really good time. All right, so I'm getting into the Phantom Ranch area, and this is a very important trail junction here. You can see this is where the South Kaibab Trail ends. So right here, that's where it ends. And from here and that way, this way, it's the North Kaibab Trail, which you can hike all the way up to the North Rim, but that is actually quite a bit more of a difficult hike than even hiking from here back up to the South Rim. And the North Rim is closed to cars during the winter anyway. But this is also the way the Phantom Ranch is less than a mile from here. Should be getting pretty close. And then this is the start of the Bright Angel Trail, and this will take you right over there to the campground. I think there's a water source over there. I think there's another one in Phantom Ranch as well. But when I head back, this will be the direction I start heading to get back up to the South Rim. And man, this is absolutely beautiful. There's I guess this is a water source right here. I'm not sure if this is the Phantom Ranch water source or if it's actually back there where like the ranger station and like the cabins and all that stuff are. But either way, I brought 3 liters of water, and I've drank like half a liter so far. Probably should drink some more, but I'm definitely still pretty good on water, so I don't have to worry about that at this exact moment. And I do know for a fact, I checked this morning, that the Phantom Ranch and Indian Garden water sources are turned on right now. So That is perfect. All right. Well, that was my early lunch, I guess, here at Phantom Ranch. It's a little after 10:30 right now. I'm at the Phantom Ranch Canteen, and I had a bagel with cream cheese. This I brought myself, this little Nutella and breadstick snack thing. And then, of course, some Phantom Ranch lemonade. Always hear about that nonstop. Gotta have the Phantom Ranch lemonade when you come down here. And it was good. I will say, it was good. So, I'm still here, still hanging out. It is, it's funny, now that I've been sitting here for a while, I'm actually starting to get a little chilly again. It is about 48 degrees down here at Phantom Ranch. I mean, it's not like cold, but it is chilly, especially after drinking the lemonade with ice in it. But I am getting ready to head out of here. Just gonna drink a little bit more water, and then I will get up and start heading back towards the river, and then start heading up the Bright Angel Trail. And from here, it is 9.5 miles to get to the South Rim via the Bright Angel Trail. So, quite the long hike ahead of me. Now that right there is a view worth hiking down here for. That is so cool. And there is the South Rim all the way up there. You can tell because there's snow up there. And also, I'd like to point out, by the way, that there are like some pretty good fall colors down here. Some of these trees are at like peak fall colors. Never thought I would see fall colors in January, but I guess that happens here at the bottom of the Grand Canyon here in Phantom Ranch. So I'm leaving now, starting to head back towards the river, and from there things are gonna get real. Okay, I am through the Bright Angel Campground and starting on the Bright Angel Trail. So I think from here it's about 9 miles to get to the South Rim at the Bright Angel Trailhead, which luckily for me is a good stopping point because it has restaurants and all kinds of different stuff. And my car is parked only about a half a mile from the trailhead there. But yeah, I am just loving this. I really am. Now, I mean, in a couple of hours from now, I might not be loving it so much when I'm like just dying hiking back up to the rim. But for now, I'm loving it. This is really awesome. This is such a cool experience. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Being at the top, like at the rim of the Grand Canyon, is a really awesome experience that I think everybody should have. But being at the bottom of the Grand Canyon is just on a whole nother level. It really is. It's impossible to describe how unbelievably beautiful and epic it is being down here at the bottom and just looking up at everything that you've come down and all of the different layers of rock, and I mean just everything. It's so cool. And before I leave, I am going to go down here to the river and dip my hand in the river just to say that I've done it, and then I'm leaving. All right, here I am, the Colorado River. There's the Bright Angel Bridge. And that's the direction I'm heading. But first, as promised, you know what? That water is actually not as cold as I expected it to be. I mean, it's cold, but I expected it to be like absolutely frigid. And it's actually not that bad. Surprisingly, it is not that bad. Man, this is so beautiful. All right, well, enough screwing around, I suppose. I can't avoid it any longer. It's time to start the hike back up. All right, crossing the Bright Angel Bridge. Definitely a little bit of a different vibe to it than the Kaibab Bridge. Still really, really awesome. And look at that. My goodness. What an incredible place. And now is where the fun begins. Still following parallel with the river. Some rafters down there. I tell you, that looks like a fun time. Doing a rafting trip through the Grand Canyon. That looks like a really fun time, actually. It's definitely warming up more. It's probably in the mid 50s now. I'm actually about to shed a layer because it's getting quite warm for what I'm currently wearing. But still really beautiful. The Bright Angel Trail has just started gaining a little bit of elevation. For a while there, it was just pretty much flat. And now it's starting to go up a little bit, but it's pretty mellow so far. I know that this is just a slight taste of what is ahead of me. Okay, well, I'm finally branching away from the river and passing by Pipe Creek Rest House right here. Following this creek through a really awesome little side canyon with lots of vegetation in here, and yeah, all that elevation gain that I had. I mean, it wasn't much, but you know what I did have at the beginning of the Bright Angel, lost it all getting to this point. So basically back to square one here with the elevation, but that's okay because it can pretty much only go up from here. All right, well, the trail's finally getting pretty steep. There's the north rim up there. And I was just coming through that canyon, and then it just started switchbacking its way up here. So it did get steep all of a sudden, which, of course, that was, you know, it had to happen at some point. But yeah, this is beautiful. Like I said earlier, the Bright Angel Trail is vastly different from the South Kaibab Trail. Two very different experiences. So it makes me feel like, even more so, like I made the right choice going up Bright Angel, just because it just gives you a different perspective of the canyon. All right, well, here's the Garden Creek Waterfall. Can't see too much of it from here, but it's pretty cool. Obviously, the views are, as always, spectacular. And yeah, there's the south rim up there, still quite a long ways away. I'm hoping to be up at Indian Garden in about maybe 30-45 minutes, depending on how steep the trail is going to be. It was very steep for a little while there, and then started mellowing out again. Now it's just kind of like a moderately steep uphill trail. Not too bad at the moment. And so far I'm still not seeing too many day hikers or backpackers. Seems like I don't know, I might not see any of them until I get up closer to Indian Garden. We'll see. Been hiking for about 5 hours now, and that's including all the time that I spent down at Phantom Ranch and by the river. So still doing good on time, I'd say. All right, I made it to Indian Garden, and I can totally see why they call it that. There's a lot of really dense vegetation in here, and it's really cool. Like I said, this is just a vastly different experience from going down the South Kaibab Trail. So this is the campground that's on the Bright Angel Trail. There's also a ranger station here, and this is another place that you can fill up your water, which I will be doing. I still have plenty of water, but just to be safe, this is the last place on the trail in the winter time that I'll be able to fill up the water, so I definitely am gonna do it here. Somebody's feeding this guy. Clearly does not mind being around people. So this would be the trail split for Plateau Point if you want to head down there, if you're doing like a day hike down there from the top of the Bright Angel. I will not be going there today. All right, well, this area here, Indian Garden, sorry, is kind of the spot where you'll start seeing more day hikers if you're coming up Bright Angel, just because Plateau Point is down here, and that is kind of usually the one of the last places where day hikers on the Bright Angel Trail will turn around. So basically from Indian Garden up, I'd assume that the trail is going to be getting a little bit more crowded, but we'll see. I mean, there's definitely a few people here, but it's really not bad. It's not bad at all. It hasn't been overly crowded at all so far today, but we'll see if I'm still saying that when I get up to like the 3-mile rest house. But once again, who knows, because by the time I start getting up to, you know, the 3 or 1.5 mile rest houses, it's going to be getting a little later in the afternoon. So it's about just before 1:30 right now, like 1:25. So yeah, been hiking for about 5 hours 45 minutes and enjoying every step, even though some of them are slightly painful. All right, so I just stopped at the 3-mile rest house for a minute just to drink some water, some Gatorade, and get a snack. Really important, especially towards the tail end here, to stay hydrated, get electrolytes, salt, sugar, all that stuff. Keep the energy going as much as is possible, I suppose. So just under 3 miles to get back up to the South Rim. It's definitely going to be a rough 3 miles. My legs are kind of starting to feel like jello, but I am doing good, and I know I got this. These ones are like, I don't know about that. All right, well, I am getting really close to the 1.5 mile rest house. Should pretty much be right around the corner. Coming up these switchbacks, which is just such a fun time. But I'll tell you, that was really cool to get to see those bighorn sheep. I've never seen bighorns at the Grand Canyon before. Saw actually a good amount of wildlife today. All those mule deer down at, well, saw some elk up on the rim this morning. Saw those mule deer down at Indian Garden. And then all those bighorn sheep, which is really cool. Doesn't seem like there's many people hiking down into the canyon right now. Mostly just people hiking up from Indian Garden, or the ones who are crazy enough to go down to the river or Phantom Ranch like I did. But yeah, I am completely wiped right now. My legs are totally shot, but I did expect that. I mean, of course that was going to happen in the home stretch here, but at least it is the home stretch. So I'm going to keep trucking along here. And at least I have that to look at while I'm suffering. All right, well, it is about 3:15 and I'm leaving the 1.5 mile rest house now. So 1.5 miles to the rim. And I'm starting to get back on some of the snow and ice now. So that'll of course make things a tad bit more interesting. But I'm in the home stretch. And it is a good feeling. I'm pretty sure that the Bright Angel Trail is going to go up that way. Could be wrong about that, but I think that's where it goes up to the rim. I basically just keep telling myself what I just did from the 3 mile rest house to the 1.5 mile rest house. I just have to do that shit one more time. That's what I keep telling myself. All right. Well, that is a beautiful sight right there. That is the rim. That is where the trailhead is. Almost there. My phone's actually clocked me in at 19 miles. All right, guys, I did it. I am back at the rim at the Bright Angel Trailhead. That was absolutely insane. My phone clocked me in at 19.4 miles from the start of the South Kaibab Trail to right here, 19.4 miles. So I had 42,838 steps, and it took me 8 hours and 15 minutes, which is way better time than I was expecting. I kind of thought it was going to be dark by the time I got back up here. Man, that feels really good. Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. I did it, guys. 19.4 miles. 5,150 feet of elevation gain. This is just based off of what my phone's telling me. And 42,838 steps. And it took 8 hours and 15 minutes. That is incredible. I am so happy that I got to do this. I am so happy that I finally was able to accomplish this huge goal of mine and hike to the bottom of the Grand Canyon and back up in one day. That is so cool. I loved this hike from start to finish. Every second of it was absolutely amazing. There were no bad parts at all, even when I was really tired. Man, so I got about a half a mile of walking to get back to the backcountry office where my car is parked. So that'll put me right at about 20 miles total for the day, which, I mean, if you would have told me 2-3 years ago that I was going to be doing 20-mile days with this level of elevation difference, I mean, I never thought I'd be able to do hikes like this ever in my life, and it is so awesome to be able to do this kind of stuff. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go for now, and I'll check back in with you one more time. All right, guys, well, I am back at the car, ending this 20-mile day with some peanut M&Ms and a water. But don't worry, there will be more spoils than that coming later. I just have to get back to civilization. I don't feel like paying prices for what it costs to eat at a restaurant here in the park. But anyway, guys, I just can't get over this. I'm still just like cloud nine right now about the accomplishment. It feels so good. I have wanted to do that for so long, and I was getting a little anxious last night about it. Like, I was like, I don't know if I can actually handle it, but I made it happen. I was really beat, especially those last 3 miles, but I made it happen, and I'm back up here at the car on the South Rim, and I surprisingly even did it in like 2 hours, hour and 45 minutes less time than I originally anticipated it would take. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video here. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys soon for another awesome hike and adventure, which I can't even think about doing another hike right now, but I'm sure that'll change in a day or two. So anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next one. From the last time here at the Grand Canyon, have a good day, night, whatever time it is for you. I don't know. I'm super tired. I'm gonna go now.